What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nate's Minecraft server 2026 Map Mania Part 2, where it was still the same recording day, and it's the same voiceover day as well. I just exported, and it's uploaded 84% for episode 18, so welcome to episode 19. This was doing the Billard's Purple Manor connected to the Book Bunker. And then see, we got the land between, and then the land above, where it's just barely the Purple Manor. But it does make sense to, have it there. Especially if you build something and then you come back to the wall and it's just boom, right there. Pretty cool. But okay, so that's where that is. You all know that. I just wanted that up there because it annoyed me. We seep in. Okay. Daytime. Night, death, night, death. I also wanted to clean up some of the TP spots, but I didn't really end up doing that too much. I mainly wanted to just focus on the maps. So like for some of these, I just did their own little area, and then realized that all of them end up connecting back to the spawn in some way or another. So these are more or less safekeeping spots of like the spot where you're at, even though it doesn't say you are here. But it shows, so it's pretty cool. There's the Spyro house. And then just at the bottom left is the Resin Ranch. And then we got Shrek here with some in-game music. There's a couple of spots of in-game music again through this one, so it'll switch from tabby font to regular. But we're here at Shrek, and Shrek was what really started the mega map fully, because we find out in a little bit here that good old Shrek is the southernmost tip of known creation here. And I built a little 2-part Shrek map in here. Or what I thought. Shrek and Shrek West. Sounds like a high school. But we put them in there, and then I just go this way. And I wanted to see what's in between them, like how far away is he from anything. And then it ended up being closer than I thought. So then that got to expand, and then when I ran that north, it ran into something else again. And pretty much every direction I went all day ran into something. I'm like, wait, that literally means it's right there. So this is a 5 or 10 minute expansion of scanning stuff. The water mirrors one is the wooden house where all the water is symmetrical around the outside and around the inside, etc. It's been shown before, but I'm not hearing much music in this part. I literally had just found this out right then. I hadn't seen it yet upon playing this. Joe made like a co-worker lounge or whatever for the back of the Ass Pyramid Pro Shop. I was like, bro, perfect. It was a spot to test the mega map up to the Ass Pyramid. And of course I got it all wonkered placing it, but you know how that go. I ended up tweaking the levels a little bit, so we all good. I tweaked the music file there, and then it goes right into in-game music anyway, so it's alright. It was the beginning of another song, so, quiet. So that was me showing you guys how I connected the little fix expansion there to right next to where the co-workers or whatever, employees only lounge is, and then this is me building the rest of the pyramid and stuff on the maps, and then just trying to map it out in the chest over there in case it needs rebuilt for whatever reason. There's a way to lock maps into stuff like that so they don't get erased as an entity, because I used to have it, wipe entities every however many minutes to clear stuff from the ground, but I'd never excluded those and fish and stuff, and when I did, that was a couple years ago, and that's already been reset upon software version or game version. So it's like, bruh, what are we doing? But alright, that was me getting a bunch of screenshots because I kept taking pictures of everything. If I wasn't recording, I got screenshots. Yeah, and then I said, I forgot I wired this. This is the TikTok snow house. I was making the TP to something right there. Yeah, the White Castle Bubblegum Bridge from far out. Because I'm like, well, there's a mini-map there, because that's all that is right there, and it's super duper far away. And then the purple house is far from that too, so I went down that because I wasn't sure where it went. But that's the Might and Magic tunnel. And then I kind of wanted to go back through this and see what the floors look like going up. I know it was fast, but hey, it's aight. You know what I'm saying? Hope the cow did. But I ended up switching it because it's next to the light, so every time it triggers day or night, it just randomly would like teleport you. So I ran through that a couple times and I'm like, oh, I gotta change that if you're near it. So I just went through it when it wasn't powered and it worked out okay. I switched it to being the little computer over there to the right there at the desk. The TP block takes you to that, and then the map is just to the side. Yeah, see, the light is on. That's why it wasn't working, because it was technically being powered. So when it toggled off, it worked. I think that's where. Yep, the map for the Bubblegum Bridge and the White Castle, like the restaurant. And then the TP is down here because I thought it was cool. And it doesn't actually go to spawn. It goes to the Poseidon's ice boat. And then I was deciding where else I needed to make maps from, or if I needed to change anything else. And I gave some more headroom there, was all I could think of. But we're at the Purple John Billard's Ranch. And then I'm like, wait, I could put the maps by what it is, too. So like by Chris's or by Spyro, the Bubblegum Ranch. Oop. Music. So we got Chris's map, and then I was trying to trigger that, and then I forgot it's a button, so I said hee hee, because I love that. That was a really fun little sneak build, if that makes sense. Now this is where watching this really pays off, because you get to see a bunch of the areas, and then you will get to learn how they tie together, like visually on the map, and in the world here. And this is really cool. I hope that there's a more permanent way to like save a map like that they've invented, or like a better way to just screenshot and label everything in your area and then save it as like a downloadable, like, you know, map like that, but just for your regular PC. I know it sounds silly, but to me it's cool. Myself and a lot of people put a lot of hours into this over the years, so I just want the map to be really detailed and full. And if anything, like a printable, nice laminated HD poster. I don't know, that'd be cool. I just love thinking like that, because it's shit I want for my own, like, cataloging of it, but also if other people would want that, then who am I to deny them? There's a Spyro map. I still love all the weird inward, outward type builds I made for this. I don't know why that did that. Let me know if you guys remember why. The little floor dipped in there. But we're going back here to nab the maps because I realized how much it expands. Well, initially I guess I just expand it here, and I'm like, oh, this will work. We'll just dip it down like 2 or 3 and just make it a big wall where it's further back. Yeah. Because I've seen some stuff like that in real life, but little did I know that it was going to be a giant pain in the ass. No, it was actually pretty fun. It got a little confusing and honestly kind of stressful in a couple points, but I know it's a silly thing to say stressed about, but I was confident in my abilities and just took different approaches. The only time it was really stressful was the end of this. You'll see me correcting the glitch. I don't know what caused it, but exactly in the same spot from the north of one map to the south of another, I was generating maps, and I drew a red line straight vertical with wool in that. And no matter what, it would not line up. It was about 10 blocks off. I rebooted the game, rebooted the server, did a bunch of research, did a bunch of, field testing, and it would not work. I sent it to Joe, and I'm like, how is this happening? What the fuck? And he's like, oh, maybe you're in the wrong spot for the map to generate. And I'm like, yeah, but I've done, literally 80 to 100 other maps today, and it has not done that at all. Where I use this exact same method without even putting red down. And for some reason, I tried it and just did it perfectly from block to block, facing the same direction even. And it ended up working. Spoilers. But we take this spot here where the Jewel House is, and look at this. The Jewel House is 5 below where Gavin's Go-Goat Manor is. So I'm like, well, I guess since we've learned where the bee thing is, we got to mark it next to the Jewel House. So then I'm like, bruh, we've got to mark it even more, because I'm learning how close these things are that I thought were super duper far apart. But it's all mainly on one big island. And I try towards the end of this, I don't even remember if it's fully on camera, to mark around fully the edges of said island and figure out a couple bridges to make it clear visually to where what's not the island. But it's, I don't know, it's just really cool seeing it all shape up like that. And when you guys see the sheer size of the map once it's in its near finished state, because there's some more stuff I want to do to it, but I got all the named locations that I could remember. I was flying by this and had the idea to do this too, so. But it is definitely fun, at least, itched my head, my hat came out, to do this and just to really visualize it. It gives the server more of a, not a personality, but like its own thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm listening to early 2000s techno nightcore. There's like a certain channel that uploads like 8 to 10 songs of video, and they're all just banger techno songs. I grabbed that, split it up right where the tracks split, and then throw a big fade, like of 10 seconds ish, in my iTunes offline library. And now I've got like 90 low res songs from YouTube that are nightcore quote edited, where it's just like mostly the music is the same, and then like whatever vocals are in it are just like Porter Robinson nurtured, essentially. I don't know why I ever hated nightcore. I was like, no, that's cringe. But now I'm like, wait, this is what I like, and I love Porter Robinson's like nurture and the previous album before that, Worlds stuff, because it's got that weird pitched up voice stuff in it. I'm like, damn, who was I? What a fool. Bit of side lore, I recently got my vinyl decal thing set back up and did a test run yesterday, so on June 6th, 26th, and it went well, pretty well. The Legends of Might and Magic merch ticket, whatever, is getting closer. I'm getting the test stuff out for the test couple people that have agreed to receive said merch for the community, so everybody's stoked on that. They like the test runs, and they like seeing my other examples of like shirts and such I've done for myself over the years in the same way, and that's really epic. So yeah, if you guys want to check out 2001 online game Legends of Might and Magic, every month me and a few others from across the world meet up digitally, sometimes in voice chat, always in game, and just play Legends of Might and Magic from like noon to 4 or 5, at least in my time zone. And it's a cool time. Look at this. This is the map pyramid. But yeah, shout out to Might and Magic and Minotaur and Dan and Blammo. And there's a bunch of others too, but very good times. Look at this. This is a good pan over. I know it's fast and sped up, but you get it. You get it. Wow. And then I'm throwing it because if you're in creative, you can just come back up to whatever and copy pasta it. And I'm just like, nope, I'm getting these all to go away. I got the random 2 in the middle, so I TP'd to where they should be. And then, yeah. Coliseum North and then Coliseum West, I think was what that was. I'm like, damn, we're missing a bunch of stuff over here. The Krusty Krab still, bro. I thought it was south for so long. And then again, I finally found this place, so I was making sure that I got the TP set up for this, and I think I did, but I don't remember. I know I tested it, and it was partially in the wall, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cringe. But then I try to just fly straight north until I see something, and then I'm like, oh, but it was somewhere where I needed to be. It was the little witch hut where Lucy the cat was sitting for quite some time after 2022. They eventually got transported to Gavin's house, both in game and real life, so it was epic. Shout out to Lucy. We've got a couple minutes left here to wrap it up, so I want to say thank you for watching early. I do really appreciate it if you guys are popping out to this John. Here's another creation that I've been looking for, the like sunken in weird floor tower. That was a creation of mine from some years ago. I found out that going north from the sunken in tower goes north to Shan's floaty house. and that the green little thing wasn't too far from that. I said earlier in this video that there was something, or maybe the video before, where I was like, random like lights out in the field. Right above it was Shan's floaty house, so I was like, oh, bro, I could have cataloged that earlier, but I did not. Here's what we're looking at right now. I'm missing a couple that are in the main line there, and then we've got a bunch that are now figured out. And I didn't name them at that point. Sometime later, I went through and I'm like, oh, well, I should name them now. I've got it fresh in my head. And I saw this, I'm like, what? Tower Sync is fucked up. That is the beginning of the red line that I was telling you momentarily about. That shit fucking sucked, dude. That shit made me so mad. I had never seen that. If I remember, I'll find the Snapchats of me sending the video to Joe and trying to be like, how? How does this happen? What is this? And then the fix was also recorded of me, like, making the maps. I'm like, all right, we're going to make it. You're going to see me make them. Or maybe that was in here, and then I recorded just after it. But yeah, the Copper Plateau, the north of Green Underwater Beach itself, the Witch Hut, north of Copper, the Treehouse, up to Jumpin' Jungle. All that is now boom, 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 boom. Like, it looks like whatever, but look at how many maps tall that is by counting the empty ones. Like, this took a lot of fucking time, and I was so glad to do it finally, but oh my gosh. This was building in the Jewel Tower, the map. It felt like walking into, like, a building, and you see the map of, like, where it is in the town, or, like, the structure of the building. So, then this is me figuring out why the map didn't work for that and the areas in between it, too, while I was there. Because I'm like, alright, so now we've got south and east of Jewel Tower. I'm like, shit. So I just had to figure out where to move it to, and I don't know why I did it in the stairwell, but the stairwell felt lore accurate, if that makes sense, like to being in a building like that. It's like a nice, like, marble granite with, like, shiny gold stairwell type shit. So watch this. What that means yet, I do not know, but I remember saying it and thinking it was funny. Okay, so at this point I had already had it here, and I just decide we're gonna figure it out. So it's like, why? Because I show where it was, and then I show how it doesn't line up, and it just makes no freaking sense. So I'm like, here's where the map has to be, sadly, and it should be Jewel East, and then Tower Sync, and it does not line up. You can see the little red line there is on the right half, and then on the top one, it's towards the left. There's no reason for that to happen. I've never had that happen. I made the map right next to each other, but then I made sure in this next part, after a little while, to start it from, like, exactly where the maps switch, facing the same direction on the same block A to B, and it worked. Because right there, it did not work. It did not. Thank you guys for watching. I'll show you the little clips after this. Alright, so ignore the night core in the background. This line right about here is where the maps split. And I'm doing the big map wall thing today. It's been really fun on the server. But no matter how they line up, the red line, though it's in a straight line, does not line up at all. So let me flip back. Fuck you, vape. Look at this shit. That's the exact spot. Like, okay. Like, if we flip through the fucking maps, it is exactly... Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. It's weird. It is right there. You can cross back and forth, but they just are like this side of the map and then that side of the map. But it's the exact next ones above each other. How? How that? It's like the red line, you'd see it, like... There, it's right there. It's not big enough for this part to be a middle map. It's right on the edge. Is that somewhere in that red line? Never seen that.